Away. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to those of you who are on the Zoom, and thank you for joining us. And obviously, welcome to everybody who has made the effort to come down, and particularly the committee and the award winners tonight. We thank them for coming along. Obviously, tonight is a two-part event. So we've got the AGM afterwards, but the best part of the night is obviously the awards night, which means we actually played some football this year, and it's great to have everyone here who can be, and those other award winners online. We thank you for joining us. First and foremost, everyone can hear me, can't they? Yep. Firstly, an acknowledgement of country before we begin. The Fitzroy Junior Football Club acknowledges the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which we train, socialise and play our home games. We acknowledge that the territory was never ceded. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and endeavour to recognise and honour those Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander heritage in all their involvements with our club. We recognise the significant influence of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders have had on this great game of Aussie rules football. We acknowledge the rich historical significance of this land for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. We're proud to live and play on the land and around the waters of Mchugh. We thank their ancestors for caring for the land and the waters for thousands of years. Okay. As I said, welcome everybody officially. First off, we're going to get the awards underway. And again, another thank you for those of you online, and obviously for those of you who've made it. We're kind of out of this Zoom land, but we're just hanging in there a little bit on screen. I'm sure this will be hopefully one of the final times we have to do this way. But we are lucky enough to be here. So let's kick things off with our first award. Now, the football club cannot run without volunteers, obviously, and the volunteers on the screen here have certainly been outstanding in terms of their contribution for us throughout the year, and many of these volunteers have been big parts of our club and contributing for many, many years. I've tried to line up a person about each of these individuals who has worked with them, and I hope they've been told that. Have you been told that? Yeah? Okay, well, I'll say our first award winner is Sarah Nicholson. Sarah, are you online there? Can you unmute and say hello? You there? We're off to a flyer. I did speak to Sarah. She did say, Michael, I can see you there, Mike. How are you? Unmute, Michael.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want me to run around the corner and knock on her door and make sure she's able to accept her award?
Well, I know you can ride a bike fast, mate, but I'm not sure how fast you are on the run, buddy. So
she's just around the corner.
No, that's okay. I'm sure she'll join us. She might be just running a little bit late, but we'll acknowledge her. But Michael, you were nominated by one Matty Drew. Where are you, Matt? Would you like to say a few words about Michael's contribution to the club? Come up front.
Firstly, I've known Michael for quite a long time. We first connected when we started Auskip. Michael was already there. He was a coordinator, and I foolishly said I'd help. Probably one of the better decisions I've made, actually, to be honest. But Michael's been an absolute champion around the club for many, many, many years. From coaching to being just a general member of the age group that we're involved with. He's had all these boys play through the club. And in this role that Michael's taken on for the last couple of years has been our umpires coordinator. So effectively, he looks after all of the kids who decide to get into the umpires pathway and guides them through the process of getting training, mentors them to the point where attends their games, gives them feedback during the games, and really super encouraging for kids to get into the umpires pathway. So, Michael, you're a star, mate. Well done. And we are very grateful for all the things that you do for our club. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Matt.
Say a couple of words,
And
Matt.
Do you want to say a few words?
If you like, it's up to you.
Oh, look, it's just a pleasure to be a part of such a strong club. We're only as good as everybody who puts in their little bit. And I know that I really appreciate the value that Matt and Ben and the whole committee put in. It's just a wonderful environment to be a part of, and hope to keep supporting you guys for many more years.
Thanks, mate. Well done, Michael. Appreciate it, buddy. Richard York. Where are you, Richard?
I am here.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Richard, you were nominated by a man you know quite well, our Vice President, Darren Oliver. Daz, you're online and unmuted, mate. Please.
Exactly right. So I'd love to say a few words about Richard because, as you quite rightly said at the start, Ben, we can't run the club without volunteers, and Yorkie is a community-spirited person if I've ever seen one. He's been involved with the club for a significant amount of time with his son, Kieran, an archer to a lesser degree. He's coached all the way through pretty much the whole time that Kieran's been playing at the club. He's also our assistant coach at Colts level this year and puts an enormous amount of preparation and time into supporting the boys. He's one of those coaches that just works with each individual person and all their strengths and areas for improvement. So he's fantastic with that. He's also taken on the coach development role as well. So he looked after the streaming process for the under-13s, which with COVID happened to occur twice, in that he did it in the year that we didn't play, and he also did it again this year. So that is a monumental task, particularly with that group who has 3 teams. So managing the selection process through that is a significant amount of time and effort, and Richard does it with a smile on his face all the time. So again, I tip my hat to you, mate, as a fantastic example of a volunteer for the club and a well-deserved award. So thanks very much for a terrific year and a terrific time with the club. Well done.
Oh, thanks, Daz. That's really nice, and very grateful and thankful for the award. Also, I love it. I think I'd say I love helping out the kids and seeing them develop. Phil used to say years ago, it's all about the kids, and I think it was right. It was a really good motto, and I think it's just been a great privilege and honour to help the boys. Got one more year, hopefully, with Kieran, and I look forward to 2022. Thanks.
Thanks, Yorkie. Yeah, John Armstrong. Where are you, John? Yeah, buddy?
Yes, I'm here.
Mate, we were there was a few people who were very quick to put your name forward, because I think all of us, particularly involved in committee, know the amount of work and time and effort and passion you have for the place. And I'm going to throw to Tim Mchugh, who was the person who put you forward.
I'd just like to say a massive thank you to John, and I know that certainly Inga and Matt and others who have worked with you more closely than I have, fully appreciate the amount of work that you do around the grounds to ensure that all the facilities are up and ready for us to play football on, and importantly the liaison with councils and all of the logistics and administration that goes on around that. We can't thank you enough, mate, and we hope that you stay free and is never the most vulnerable.
Thanks, Johnny. Would you like to say anything, mate, or you?
I don't know what just intervened. It sounded like a cartoon show, but well, I will be doing this again next year, and I will be, which I call things, and I'll also be working with the under-13 girls next year, which I call people. And that's a nice balance in life, to be able to volunteer to things and people. And the advantage for the girls who train at Ramsden on Thursdays next year is that the under-13 girls will be there as well. So, you know, Callie and others know that any extra bit of equipment that's required is very easily obtained, isn't it?
Yeah, Well done, mate.
Well
Thanks,
done,
Johnny.
John.
Tim, you're up again because without this person, I don't think you could continue to be the treasurer, mate.
No.
So, Jen, are you there? Are you online?
Yeah, I'm here.
This lady to me is the absolute core of the club. Without Jen working behind the scenes and assisting to manage our accounts, everything that you see happen each week and all through the year wouldn't occur. It's hard to believe, but this club's like running a small business. There's over $200,000 a year that go through our books, and a significant amount of administration, etc., that's required around that. And without wonderful people like Jen supporting the club, there's no way that we could do the things that we achieve. So, Jen, thank you personally from me, and thank you unequivocally on behalf of the club for all that you've done for us this year.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Tim. I'm sure next year will be busier. It's been a bit of a crazy year this year, actually, being that hasn't been footy on. But it's a bit of a family affair in our house. So, we all do what we need to do for our kids and the club. So, it's just something I do, but it's very nice to be recognised. So thank you.
Hard for Jen to get away from the footy club, given she lives with mate Paddy. Now, Pete King, where are you, Pete? He's not on, but I'll hand over to Matt, because you've obviously spent a lot of time with Pete, but most of us would know he transformed our merchandise.
Yeah,
So come on, Matty, come and say a few words.
So I guess on behalf of Pete, I'll have a few words about him. When he took over the merchandise department, it's fair to say it was pretty rudimentary. We didn't have a lot of system in what we did. We had a lot of tubs with a few bits of paper on top and a texter, and we kind of really didn't know what our inventory looked like. We didn't know how much money we were spending, where it was being spent. It was a bit hit and miss sometimes. We were selling plenty of hoodies, but we didn't kind of know what it meant for us. Pete transformed it into a bit like what Tim said. It's virtually a small business now. Our merchandise department is run like a well-oiled machine. We know exactly where things are and what state they're in. What we need to order for next year, it's already been taken care of, and runs a super efficient program. Aside from that, wait till the alarm goes off. Pete's been on the committee for a couple of years, so he's now transitioning out. He's found his successor. That's any committee member's dreams, to find somebody to fill their shoes. And Pete's done that this year, and we've got Jess and Adam coming through next year. But Pete's been an absolute champion for the merchandise department, and on top of that, he's suffered through being my assistant coach for a couple of years in the losingest team that we could possibly put forward. So well done to Pete for putting up with all of that, and fantastic job, and really appreciate everything Pete's done for us.
Thanks, Matty. Thanks to everyone who was nominated. It's hard to pick out certain people, but there's so many volunteers in our club, and definitely all these people here have gone above and beyond. So we thank them. Now, next award will be presented by our Vice President, Darren Oliver. It's the James Dorney Award, which is named after James, who was a Fitzroy Junior Club coach, administrator, club treasurer, secretary. He did a lot of stuff at the club, but his coaching philosophy was certainly emphasised the values that we put forward of fair play, striving to do the best you can at all times. So, Daz, I'll throw over to you to present the first award.
Thanks very much indeed, and it's really nice that the person who's the recipient of this award is actually in the room with Ben at the moment. So, Dane, congratulations on behalf of the club and everyone on the call at the moment for winning the James Downey Club Champion of the Year award. And just a little bit of background for everyone on the call. It basically recognises outstanding contribution and talent taken into consideration on and off-field conduct, interleague representation, long-term players with the club. They've displayed on-field leadership and commitment to fair play and things like that, and played in numerous development squads. So effectively, it's a reward for players of excellence, basically. And Dane is certainly one of those. He's been here since he was, and if everyone can see how tall he is, about 6'5". He wasn't quite that tall when he first started. So he's been with the club for many years. He's represented the club extremely well in the development clubs, teams such as the YJFL squads. He's currently been with the Northern Knights for a number of years now. In the current season, whilst he started with us in the first few games in the Colts, his talent and his ability showed out again, and he played, I think Dane was around 6 or 7 games in a row with the Knights this year, which was fantastic. And speaking with Monty, who's a long-term coach of ours at the Colts level, who's now a Northern Knights coach, the Northern Knights are really pleased with his progress and have bigger and better things in mind for Dane going forward over the next few years. So I'm sure he would agree. He's looking forward to a really big season with the NAB League this year. And I guess from myself, from a personal viewpoint, I've been involved with Dane over the last couple of years with Colts, and I can't reiterate any more what a fantastic young fellow he is. He's a great team player. Even when he's training with these development squads, he comes down the training. He's really engaged with his teammates, and he makes a fantastic and valuable contribution to the team itself. So really a great reward for effort over many years, Dane. So again, on behalf of the club and everyone on the call now, we'd like to give you a big round of applause and congratulate you on the club champion award. So well done, mate.
The demand from bookshops coming out of pandemic.
I'll do the honours, but Dane, on behalf of the club, fantastic contribution over the years, mate.
Been down, fellas.
Hello. Hello. Come forward a bit. Say hello, you're going to have to bend down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything, or you?
Just thanks to the Fitzroy Youth Club from the very start, the package and under 10s, all the support from parents, teammates, coaches. It's been really good.
Awesome, mate. Thank you.
Now, Ben, just to hand over now, I might just ask Kelly to jump up and she can present the youth girls as well. There she is. Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, Taran. The other recipient of the James Dorney Award is Phoebe Nelson. Phoebe is a talented footballer. She's played for Fitzroy since under 12, and the last couple of years she's been in the Northern Knights squad. She has terrific skills and game sense. She's committed to training, always attends even when she's doing extra training for the Knights. She balances this with 2 VCE subjects this year and a promising cricket career as well. She represents our club really well. She started umpiring through our supplementary umpire system 3 years ago, and this year she joined the ranks of the YJFL umpires. She's excelled in this role, and importantly, she continues to offer mentoring and support to our newest club umpires. Phoebe plays the game in the right spirit. She's a good teammate and a very humble person, and she's a fine recipient of the award. Congratulations, Phoebe.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hey,
Here she is coming home from Knights training.
Yeah, so I'm just in the car home at the moment.
All right, I'll drop this off later.
Thanks, Kelly. And yeah, thanks everybody. Fitzroy is a great community. I obviously love being a part of it, and yeah, I can't wait to jump back into next season. So.
Thanks, everyone. Congratulations. All right. MVP of the Year Awards. I will hand over to Paul Harris. Where are you, Paul? You're going to have to come up here and bend down as well. Sure. So, I'm not 6'5". Paul's obviously our coach, Colts 1 coach, and he's here to present the MVP award.
Yeah, look, I've known the Lowe family for about 5 to 6 years now. So they came to the club around about under 13s, and they're a terrific family. I know his mother very well, Taylor. and Ethan's a fabulous young man. He's played probably over 100 junior footy games, and this year he was absolutely outstanding. It's really rare in modern footy, junior footy, to find someone that can kick goals. Very rare. Everyone wants to be a midfielder, and Ethan stood up this year. I think he kicked about 60 odd goals in Colts 1, Div 1, which is a really good league of football. And you should see this guy kick. He can kick 50 metres from anywhere. So he was an absolute acquisition for our team and critical to our success week in, week out. So he's had a successful year. He was second in the Colts 1 Div 1 voting with YJFL. So he ran equal second. He was also picked in Colts Team of the Year at full forward, obviously, and was also high in our voting, and also I regard him as one of our leaders, particularly at Colts 1 and throughout the whole or entire Colts group. Fabulous role model for others who want to kick and play football and be goal kickers in AFL football or junior football going forward. So I've got no doubt that all the coaches thought this was an emphatic award and almost unanimous in the sense that Ethan Lowe deserved this. So congratulations, Ethan. Well done.
No, but I'll drop it away, mate. Beautiful. Okay, now we're on to our Youth Girls MVP. Is Brett there? Brett, are you online, mate? I'm going to hand over to you now.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I'm on the line.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
Excellent. All yours.
MVP of the Year award for the Youth Girls is Maddie Carolus, and she has done just an outstanding job this year. She's been our captain, and she's led from the front. Maddie's a sort of young woman who, if you ask her to do something, she does it without question. She listens to instructions and she executes fantastically, and that's really important, I think, one as a captain, to motivate and inspire her teammates, but also particularly given we've thrown her around the ground a little bit this year, and she's been exemplary in every position that she's played in. More importantly, she's, and I think this is more important than football, excuse me, is that she's a fantastic young woman. And when you leave the Fitzroy Junior Football Club, if you can leave having experienced people with the right values, the right approach to the game, the right approach to life, I think football stands young people in great stead. And I think Maddie's a fantastic example of that. She's done her VCE this year as well as playing football, never missed a training session, and she's an outstanding leader. And I think more importantly, she's an outstanding human. So congratulations, Maddie.
Thanks, Brett, and thanks to the club. I've loved Fitzroy and my time at Fitzroy, and yeah, just thanks a lot.
Thank you, Maddie. Well done. We'll get your award to you. We'll organise that with Brett and we'll get your award out to you. But congratulations.
Awesome.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Brett. Cheers, mate. Now, Fitzroy Footy Club champion jumper. We're lucky enough to have the president of the Fitzroy Football Club with us here tonight. Joan, can you come into play and turn on your audio?
Yep, I think my audio's on. Can everyone hear me?
We can, Joan. How are you?
Thank you, Ben.
How's the club going, Joan? After the 18 months we've all been through, but how's it fared?
Look, I think it's been, a couple of people have mentioned, what a crazy year it's been, but I think it's that Fitzroy spirit, Ben. We're doing well, and all 270 registered players can't wait to get back on deck. We commenced pre-season training this week, and the numbers have been really strong. So I think everyone's just hanging out to get back out there next season. So we're doing okay.
Good to hear.
Good to hear. Thank you.
I'm going to hand over to you now, Joan, to talk a little bit about these awards and
also
a little bit about the players.
That Dante and Hardy. So the reason this award was created is we wanted to recognise the connection between the juniors and the seniors, and in particular, we created this award to recognise players who are coming through the juniors and who eventually play senior football at Fitzroy in terms of the senior teams. The very first junior graduate, Fitzroy junior graduate we had that made the senior men's team as it was then, because we didn't have teams or girls teams. It was 19 years ago. His name was Chris Megan, and he went on to win. He was a development squad player in TAC, but he also went on to win 2 best and fairest with the senior club in his playing career at Fitzroy, and he was a ruckman. So when the youth girls was established, we immediately instituted the club champion for the graduating group from the juniors. So the champions jumper goes to a graduating top age colt or youth girls, and it's the traditional Fitzroy heritage jumper, and in the traditional woolen style. We embroider. We haven't got it here. It's on order, and like everything, over the supply chains are a bit slow. But it has the embroidered, the name of the winner embroidered on the front of the jumper, and year and the name of the jumper. And on the back is a number, and the number isn't the number that you might have played in Heidi and Dante this year. It's the number of the year, of how many years we've been giving the award out. So Dante's jumper this year will have number 19 on it, because it's been 19 years since we instituted the award. 19 jumpers we've awarded to Fitzroy junior graduate boys, and number 7 on Heidi's jumper, because this is the 7th season, which is fantastic, that we've been awarded the champion jumper to the youth girls. So it really exemplifies the values of what the Fitzroy Junior Footy Club and the Fitzroy Senior Club is about, and it's really about someone who's passionate about footy and wants to go on and play senior football. Hopefully at Fitzroy, not necessarily, but who sees themselves continuing to play the game they love with their mates, and wants to take that into a senior sphere. So there's a beautiful tribute and recognition of Heidi that I've just want to read a bit of that out. As Heidi's coach says, football needs to be much more than the results achieved at the end of the day. It is and has to be about enabling young women to be the best they can be in an environment where they feel safe and secure to do that. The coach says here that Heidi's incredibly strong-willed but incredibly caring. It's one of the great traits she had, that she's a very caring person about her teammates and about her coaches, and is an incredible encourager of all those around her, even when things aren't going so well. The coach notes it's been a tough year, of course, with COVID restrictions and training, and Heidi was always one to try and lift the spirits of the players around her, and also an incredibly talented and smart footballer, takes instruction, executes and executes and practices and till she gets it, and often gets it the first time. But it's really the values that she holds around that level of social caring and responsibility for her football community and those around her, and that's the reason why she's won the award. So congratulations, Heidi. It's a real pleasure to be awarding you this champions jumper this year from the senior club.
Awesome. Heidi, are you online?
I think I saw Heidi's name, but it might have been another Heidi, of course.
If you're there, we'd love to hear from you. If not,
that's all right. I can keep going. Dante. Now, Dante, in terms of the Champions Award, I think he's somebody who is absolutely a champion with the club. I think his bio reads, he's I think captain of the Colts. Is that right?
Yes.
And club best and fairest this year. Also representing the club in the Northern Knights and YJFL representative teams. Clearly an extraordinary football with great talent, but also the note said just incredibly fabulous young man to have around the footy team and around the footy club, and just puts in 110%. So it's an absolute pleasure, Dante. I don't think Dante's with us tonight at work commitments, but it's an absolute pleasure to present the senior club's champion jumper to Dante as well. We'll make sure that those jumpers, when they arrive, go to the players. We'll liaise about that. So thank you, Ben. I know that if it had been a different environment, we would have had our senior women's coach and senior men's coach and our coaching director, Phil Bunn, and player recruitment and wellbeing, Michael Pickering, on to talk a bit more about the pathways. But I won't go on about that tonight. I know that it's in really strong hands with your fantastic coaching group and your directors of coaching, and the pathways for your youth girls and Colts boys into the senior club. That's getting stronger and stronger every year, Ben. So I just want to say thank you to the juniors. 50%, over 50% of the senior men's squad is Fitzroy Junior Football graduates, and those numbers are obviously not quite there yet with our senior women's team. But just to let you all know that our aim is to get a third women's team up as soon as we can. That's in terms of the expansion of the senior club. That's the next ambition. That gives more and more of a pathway for our young girls to come through from the Fitzroy Juniors. So lots of exciting times ahead, I think, for the whole Fitzroy football family. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Joan. And I think,
good luck for next season.
Yeah, terrific. Thank you. And there's no doubt we need to continue to work on that. And I'm actually having a coffee with Pickers tomorrow.
Yes, it's great.
So, but we really appreciate that. And obviously the award is fairly special. And I'm sure both Dante and Heidi will be thrilled when they receive that beautiful jumper. It sounds incredible. So thank you very much, Joan.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, Ben. Thanks, everybody.
That's a pub. Is that right? Right. Sarah, you there?
But it's actually honestly good display. At least that's
anyway, Bridget. Oh,
Bridget,
I
will. Obviously, the head trainer is a huge role, and Sarah stepped in at short notice at the start of the year, and it is a year-long role. From getting all of our wonderful volunteer trainers through their necessary qualifications at the start of the year, and then follow up through the year. This year, probably coming off the year we didn't have last year, we had a really huge spike in injuries at the start of the season, and that actually flowed through. And so Sarah's follow up each week in making sure the players who'd been injured across the year, across the week, and supporting them through their recovery. Also, in a year when the concussion guidelines changed again, following through with the 12-day no play rule, it was a huge commitment from her. She did a wonderful job in it, and under her stewardship, we've got some really great things to roll out next year, including all of the work that Sarah led with Matt's help and Emma's help and Karen into an injury reporting act, which I think will be spectacular next year. So a phenomenal job in a tough year. So all our thanks to Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, Kelly, it's time for Victoria's award. Please come forward, and I'll get out of the way because there's a lot of people at the end who've been very patient.
Dick Taran started his coaching at Fitzroy back in 2006. He coached his sons Riley and Owen, but he contributed much more broadly than that. He mentored new coaches, and he also was instrumental in establishing what we now have as our coach development committee. Sadly, Dick passed away last year. So we have put together this award to commemorate his contribution and to recognise that at the time he was around the club, a lot of other coaches shaped their own coaching style on Dick's example. So we have a few words to read out from Dick's son Riley on behalf of the family. So that's his brother Owen and mum Karen. So first of all, Mum, Owen and I would like to thank everyone at the Fitzroy Junior Football Club for their support following Dad's passing. It was very nice to see the support from everyone and the article that went up on the club website at the time. Our family is honoured to have the club create the Dick Taran's Coach of the Year award, and we hope that Dad's legacy will be carried on by the current and future coaches of the club. Dad's coaching style was at the forefront one of inclusion. From when he began coaching my team until his last year as a coach for Owen's team, his main focus was always getting everyone involved. He had detailed spreadsheets to make sure that each kid had an equal amount of time on the ground and that we would all get a go playing in different positions throughout the year. Dad never really cared too much about the result. His main goal as a coach was to make sure that everyone was having fun as well as giving it their all. His favourite word to use when he needed a bit more out of the team was endeavour, even to under 10s. I think that word just about sums up how Dad went about his coaching. As long as you have endeavour to do your best, the rest doesn't matter. We trust this award will go to a coach that honours Dad's values of loyalty, determination and respect, and we wish the very best to all the coaches at the Fitzroy Junior Football Club. Go Boys. I would like to acknowledge that there were 6 coaches nominated for these awards. Some were nominated twice, but the on the winners was absolutely unanimous. So I couldn't be more pleased to announce Tim Cairns and Bruno Maraca, co-coaches of the under 13 boys.
Real life begins in harmony. Every 14 minutes, someone finds love on a harmony. In harmony.
What the hell? Turn off your mic, you idiot.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Really good. Thank you.
It's $9 to live it.
Come on.
Looks like this is
I'll give you just a few words.
This is not nice. What was that one?
What co-coaching do?
Well, it's a little bit hard to follow the words about Dick, so because we're humble to actually be in this position to be the first winner of the award. So thank you to the club for that, and thanks to Luke, who we believe nominated us. It's been a journey for Bruno and I. We met at Auskick and lucky we're here tonight. We're in prep. We've been kind of co-coaching ever since then. That's been 8 years, including the last year. So we've had lots of fun doing it, and it's been a real stretch for us. And we get a lot out of it. And, we always talk about game day and how we get a little bit nervous, and the things that we're trying to do to make the kids involved, and basically around the teamwork and fun. So it's awesome fun for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said Tim, and look, I'll echo everything Tim said, but essentially because we set out to coach not for awards, but for having received an award, it is quite humbling. You set out to make a difference with some of the boys, and I think we've got fantastic club, great bunch of boys, both in terms of playing spirit, but also just generally as great boys. Extension of that is some great families that have really brought into that teamwork development and fun, and we've had obviously good team manager in Luke this year, but also Louise over the journey, who's made a big difference. So thanks again to everyone who nominated, and thanks to the club. Thank you. So YJFL Youth Girls Coach of the Year is Brett Croft. Coaching your first year off a year where we had no football, and being thrown in to that level of football, there's no doubt you did an outstanding job. And mate, it's a great recognition of what you were able to do. And I know you're looking forward to a full season next year, Brett. We would love to hear from you, mate. Well done.
Look, thanks, Ben. I think when you coach a group of committed girls, it's pretty easy to receive an award like this. It's certainly not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of all the girls who played this year. They're an outstanding group of young women. We talked about the start of the season. It wasn't about the result that we got. It was more about how they came through it and how we wanted to build strong, independent, resilient young women. My view's always been, if you can get that right, the results will work from themselves. And it's a shame we couldn't play finals football this year. We went through the season undefeated. But for us as a team, I think that's kind of irrelevant. I think the girls hopefully enjoyed it themselves. They found football being their happy place and coming to training and playing on game day. And I said they're a fantastic young group of young women, and I was very proud to be able to coach them this year.
Thanks, Brett. Well, worth just noting that they were awarded a premiership flag for games they did play because it's substantial. So it's a nice little reward, although it's not the be all and end all. It certainly was well deserved because they played exceptionally well as a team. So fantastic, mate. Well done. Club person of the year. Inga. Oh, look, I feel like an imposter talking because I've only come in the last few years to talk about contributions related to this club. I guess I feel quite emotional about it because I see a lot of people.
We're going to the woods.
Okay.
I'm going to go and get something for you now. So I don't know, Paul, would you like to say anything, mate? Or if you'd like. Yeah, I'd love you to, mate. I'll be back in a second. But Paul's a very dear friend of Inga, and I put you on the spot, mate. But I'd like you to come and.
Well, I'm a very close friend of Inga, but I've got to say that if a mother brings 3 boys into a club and they're all 3 exceptional men, and one's now 21 and now's the youngest is 16, I think his involvement in the club has probably been, what, over 12, 13 years now? 14 years continuously. And I know from behind the scenes, from what I see, what Inga does, and her partner John, and she does a fantastic job. She's been one of the pivotal, I'd say, pillars of this club for many years, and we're very, very lucky to have her. Very lucky.
Very difficult to quantify your contribution with some flowers and a gift. It's the least we could do, but you're still going to be around. You're still going to be very involved, which we are so grateful for. And love having you here. Rest of your time, enjoy. Yeah, because you've left the place, or you've put the place in such a better place. So can't thank you enough.
Thanks so much for inviting me to really listen now.
Nelson Munch is 10 years old.
In front of many people, I like to be in the background.
Yes,
A practice match back in 2013, I think it was, and I'm having to go up to the coach with my older son and say, thanks very much for coaching this year, and as I said, thanks very much for putting in volunteering through being team manager. I think John said that you were okay to do that, and I've just gone, oh, okay, then I don't know what that means, but yeah, sure, that's okay, and it sort of started from there. And the more I got involved with it, the more I really enjoyed it. I've made some exceptional friendships out of it. I have actually learned a lot along the way, and the best part about it is actually seeing the kids develop and grow and become the best, not only the best footballers that they can, but also the best people. I think this club provides a great framework for just becoming a great human. in how that you approach your people that you work with or play with, your coaches, your opposition and your umpires. I think that we provide a really good environment for them. And I'm hoping that through with the team managers in the role that I've had recently, footy ops, that I've provided enough information for the team managers that they can actually impart and provide the same support for their teams, which I know that they do, because you see it week on week, and the way that the teams go about themselves is just proving the pudding that the team managers actually really do have the same passion. I think my role is made easy because I'm just surrounded with amazing people that have the same passion as I do for the kids to do the best that they can and be the best players that they can be. So thank you so much.
Well, that's a way to finish an awards. You know, it's one award, isn't it? To meet people like in here and obviously help the kids, but that's what a lot of people in the room do, I think. So thank you, and we'll see you. Thanks to everyone online. The next phase obviously is our AGM. You're obviously welcome to stay. For all the award winners and everyone who attended to recognise the award winners, to Joan in particular, thank you. One last final round of applause, then we'll move on to the AGM. Thank you.
Congratulations, mate. You deserve it. Yeah. You deserve everything. You deserve more.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We'll take it to jump. Oh, no, but it's for the